From BBNBC headquarters in SF Bay Area, California, BBNBC presents the second fakest news network. You're watching The Weekly Late Show with Bertie Betts. You're watching The Weekly Late Show on BBNBC. I'm your host, Bertie Betts. BBNBC, of course, stands for the Bertie Betts National Broadcasting Company, the second fakest news network. Looks like there are Chinese hackers meddling in our election. And Microsoft says that they could be helping Trump. Helping Trump. That doesn't make any sense. Trump is the one who says, I am very, very tough on China. Why would a country help another country that's being mean to them? Like, that's like if you were like, Bertie Betts, meet the biggest bully of your life. Now, please help him become class president. Excuse me, we have a trade war right now with China, where both sides are jailing innocent people because it's a trade war. Why is China helping Trump win? It just doesn't make any sense. Is there something we're missing here? Finally, San Francisco made it for the headlines. For nothing good, but they still made it to the headlines. We made the headlines for having smoke that makes Beijing's air smell like an old-growth rainforest. But at least, finally a story I can cover. But no, MSNBC and Inside Edition and friends from New York City have to come here and steal my flame. Finally, San Francisco actually got something. Why don't y'all let me do it? I don't care that Anderson Cooper or Ice Wizard gets paid $25 million more than I do. I still deserve to cover something. I woke up at 7 a.m. to realize that it's dark outside, and like any other rational person that lives in California, I was like, it's daylight savings. But no, I waited for it to get light out until 11 p.m., then I realized it's time for me to go to bed. Spoiler alert, it never got light out. Now I feel like what it's like to live in Alaska. And I also understand why Alaskans are so excited and happy and joyful during the summer, but also become the most depressed specimen of human life on the planet during the winter. Having no light outside during the day is kinda like flying Spirit Airlines. Yes, you're excited because you're going somewhere, but at the same time you realize you're flying Spirit Airlines. A teacher 1 week into the school year passed away from COVID-19. This is extremely sad, but hopefully it's a lesson learned for other schools. Try not to open unless you really need to, because it's not worth risking lives just so kids can see each other. Like, seriously, they can't even see each other. Y'all still like 20 feet apart. They are reopening schools in places like Florida. These kids are so well behaved. If you ask teens to do that, there's no way. Teens could be 20 feet away from each other and 25 minutes later they're hanging off the rafters. Literally. Teens can't control themselves. Okay, listen to me, governors. Kids, they don't follow rules and don't like following rules. I'm a kid, I don't like following rules. If you tell me something, I'll probably do the exact opposite. And I'm sure it's no different for all those kids. Teens can barely keep track of their homework. Since when did you expect them to keep track of a deadly disease? Oregon is on fire, and I'm upset. California is always the one to light on fire. Why does Oregon get all the coverage and we get the bad air? Oregon, come live here. We're exactly like California. We even have our own fire season. And if it's not smoke from the fires, it's gonna be smoke from the weed. Because we, just like California, also have weed legalized. Oregon, we're exactly like California, but not like Washington. Don't get us confused, you cowards. Oregon, come live here. We're exactly like California, but if you confuse us for Washington, I swear. A man was fined more than $1,000 for stealing some sand from a beach. That must have been some really valuable sand, because hold on, we're getting some info from our press booth. What's happening up there? So the government was just overreacting? But that's never happened before. No, yeah, except that time that Trump did a national state of emergency to build a wall in Colorado to stop illegal immigration from Mexico. Oh yeah, and that time too, when we put thousands of people in California jails for no reason. Oh yeah, and that time we got a drunkard into the Supreme Court because we were desperate to find someone. Well, turns out the government is just like a desperate human who overreacts to everything. Congratulations, that's what happens when something is run by humans. Donald Trump was nominated to win the Nobel Peace Prize, or as Trump likes to put it, I was honored to win the Nobel Peace Prize, okay? Don't get it wrong, I already won it. Here to comment on the issue is the runner-up to win the Nobel Peace Prize, Jared Kushner. So Jared, we had your father-in-law on the show a couple weeks ago. It's very nice to meet you. Yet again, Birdie Betts, I have the pleasure to meet you. Not again, but I am meeting you for the first time. Last time when the Donald was on my show, he confused me for you and kept calling me Jared instead of Betts. He does that a lot, but he means well. It's a term of endearment. If he calls you a Jared, it means he likes you a lot. Really? It's something you have to get used to when working with the most important man in America, Donald Trump himself. Just ask Melania Trump. He calls her Ivanka all the time. You could argue, of course, that Ivanka and I are Donald's two favorite human beings on this planet, after the king himself, of course. Okay. Jared, how was your trip to the Middle East? I heard it was a success. Again, on the president's orders, we headed to the first flight from Israel to an Arab nation. It's a big milestone in American politics, thanks to Donald Trump himself. So you think that Donald Trump deserves to win the Nobel Peace Prize, the man that threatened to nuke hurricanes? Yet again, Birdie Betts, my father-in-law has done more for the Middle East than any other president before him. It's the fake news media that puts him out of context. And after all, he's a great guy and you should really get to know him better. How was your flight? It was one of my favorite experiences ever. So slick, huh? Birdie Betts, I'm gonna have to interrupt you because when you use that kind of language, it undermines the message you're trying to get across. Defend the president, father-in-law, Donald Trump, no matter what he... Okay, Jared, let's rehearse something. It turns out that the president is trying to destroy America. Jared, what's your response? Again, the president is doing an incredible job protecting this nation from... No! Here, Donald is a serial killer. It's proven by everyone. Ivanka, Melania, everybody agrees with it. Fox News agrees with it. So what's your response? Again, Birdie, I find these allegations to be false, not true about the president, Donald Trump. You bring this up, only frowns at the Democratic Party you're part of. Jared, you are literally the most annoying person in the world right now. You're tired with Audrey, that girl dancing in the top left corner of all your Zoom calls. Jared Kushner, everybody, for the Weekly Late Show on BBNBC. I'm Birdie Betts. Good night, everybody. Right. So, off the record, I would like to share that your show is the most truthful thing on the internet, and I recommend everybody to subscribe, including my father-in-law, who is hopefully listening to this because he has a thing or two to learn from you.